So on the flip side of things, I heard this story where it was somewhere in India to where this man had raped this college student. And right before he was sentenced, he had said that it was her fault for him raping her. Everybody in this town was not sitting right on the edge of their seat after he said this. So after he went to prison, the entire town got together, broke into the prison, like forced their way into the prison, demanding this man. Got him out of the prison, dragged his body for about 3 to 5 miles down the road, stoning him and beating him to death. Now, I believe that if something like that were to occur here in America, people would think twice about raping each other or raping, a young woman or just raping anyone, because they wouldn't want to get stoned to death or dragged down the road. These are the kind of things that need to happen here in America. Now, I'm not saying everybody should be stoned to death because everybody is, granted a fair trial. But if you are convicted and you have there's no doubts whatsoever that you committed the crime, then, you should be punished accordingly. And that should be left up to the victim's family or, the citizens that want to come and snatch you right out of prison. So that's what I think about that situation. And in other news, this is Theodore Bean, KNBS Television, and I'll see you soon. This is KNBS Television, live with Theodore Bean. We are here, and we're going to talk about the news about this woman, Miss Abbott, 25 years old, at Walmart. I believe Miss Abbott had a disability. She was mentally ill, was at Walmart, didn't want to leave. She was with friends and some of the people that, help these mentally disabled clients. And she started throwing a fit inside the Walmart. Grabbed a hatchet, started breaking stuff, just throwing a tantrum because she's mentally ill. So people are letting her act out her behavior. Meanwhile, other folks call the cops, and Johnny Law comes right in the door, and instead of assessing the situation, they light her up with gunfire, killing the poor 25-year-old woman. Now, couldn't they have tasered this woman? Because she was in there swinging the hatchet way before that cop even arrived and nobody got hurt. So how is that life of the officer automatically in jeopardy when he gets there? Because he has a gun? I don't know. What do you think? My personal opinion is you can always assess the situation before you take action. So here's a message to all you gun trigger cops. If you can't assess the situation, put down your badge and go home because the job is not right for you. I feel bad. I feel bad for this woman's family. I feel bad for anybody that witnessed this in Walmart. This is a complete malarkey, and I can say that because of my constitutional right. It is, and it's hurtful. So I'm going to have more of this kind of news for you next week, and we are going to stay tuned. And KNBS Television will be right back. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining KNBS Television with Theodore Bean. Again, I am here to tell you of something that happened a few months ago by a gentleman in the name of Christopher Few. His son, I believe, don't really have his son's name, but his son was 6 years old, autistic young man, both sitting in the car of his truck, and was pulled over by the Marksville Police Department. Then they had decided to just open fire on Mr. Few and his son, killing his 6-year-old autistic son, injuring Mr. Few, putting him in a hospital, critical condition. Now, it was a Hispanic officer and a black officer that killed a white man and his son. And, there was no riots about that. I didn't see that covered on the news for more than a day. It was just something that people kind of just put to the side if they saw it. Now, it was a 6-year-old boy that died. Why wasn't anybody in America upset about that enough to do something? Now, I'm not saying starting riots is the best way to go about showing your opinion, but getting together and standing in front of Washington, D.C. with 100 million Americans could probably show a point that we are sick of these trigger-happy cops walking around and shooting before anything, shooting before they're asking questions. If you're scared and you're an officer, you shouldn't have a weapon. It's an officer that's, afraid is the most vulnerable to shoot somebody. So here's what I propose, America. I propose that, you give me all your comments, which you could do right there at the bottom of the description, and you can let me know what you think about this situation. Again, his name was Christopher Few. You look him up, and it will give you his entire story about how him and the officer had, problems with the same woman. So instead of handling like a man, he just decides to shoot him and his son, killing his son. A lot of politics rolled in this because of the officer's father, I believe, was the head prosecutor for the county. So I have no idea still what's going on. The only thing that I know is they got, put in jail, and that's it. And this happened almost a year ago. So my questions are up. Does anybody know? Can anybody find out any more information? If you can, let me know. And thank you for tuning in with KNBS Television, and this is Theodore Bean again. Have a good day.